you know the chilling story of Pedro Alonso Lopez, known as the Monster of the Andes? Born in Colombia in 1948, my life was a series of tragedies from the start. My mother, a prostitute, abandoned me, and I was left to fend for myself on the streets. By the age of 18, I had already killed my first victim. But that was just the beginning. My crimes would span 3 countries: Colombia, Ecuador, and Peru. I became infamous for targeting young girls, luring them into secluded areas before committing unspeakable acts. My most notorious case? The discovery of a mass grave containing the bodies of over 50 victims in Ecuador. I confessed to killing more than 300 girls, a number that sent shockwaves around the world. My method was chillingly consistent. I would gain their trust, offer them gifts, and then lead them to their doom. The authorities finally captured me in Ecuador in 1980. Shockingly, after serving 14 years, I was released for good behavior and deported to Colombia. In 2002, after another arrest, I was declared insane and sent to a psychiatric facility. My current whereabouts remain unknown, leaving a shadow of fear and mystery that lingers to this day. Pedro Alonso Lopez, known as the Monster of the Andes, is one of the most notorious serial killers in history. Born in Colombia in 1948, Lopez's tragic upbringing shaped his dark path. Abandoned by his parents, he was raised in a violent environment, enduring sexual abuse that left deep scars. This traumatic childhood fueled his later monstrous desires. In the 1970s, Lopez embarked on a killing spree across Colombia, Ecuador, and Peru, targeting young girls aged 8 to 12. His brutal methods involved luring his victims with promises of gifts or money, only to subject them to terrible violence. Lopez confessed to killing over 300 girls, a staggering number that shocked authorities. His capture in 1980 led to a sensational trial, during which he claimed his murders were driven by a desire to rid the world of impure souls. Lopez was sentenced to 16 years in prison, but a lack of adequate legislation allowed for his early release in 1994. After his release, he disappeared, leaving behind a haunting legacy of pain and terror. To this day, the true extent of his crimes remains a chilling mystery, capturing the dark fascination of true crime enthusiasts worldwide.
In the shadows of the Andes Mountains lurked a monster like no other. Pedro Alonso Lopez, known as the Monster of the Andes, confessed to the gruesome murders of over 300 young girls across Colombia, Ecuador, and Peru. His childhood was marred by neglect and abuse, shaping a heartless predator. In the late 1970s, he would lure his victims, often as young as 8, with promises of gifts or a better life. Once in his grasp, the horror unfolded. He would take them to secluded areas, where he enacted unspeakable violence. Lopez's sadistic nature knew no bounds, as he reveled in the pain he inflicted. Captured in 1980, he led authorities to the sites of his heinous crimes, each location revealing the dark depths of his depravity. His trial revealed chilling details, and he claimed he felt no remorse, describing the thrill of taking lives. Sentenced to life, Lopez's story raises haunting questions about the darkness within humanity. Despite his incarceration, the shadow of his crimes lingers, a reminder of the terror he unleashed on innocent lives, making him one of the most notorious serial killers in history.
In the annals of crime history, few names are as chilling as Pedro Alonso Lopez. Known as the Monster of the Andes, Lopez's crimes span across South America. He confessed to the horrific rape and murder of over 300 girls in Ecuador, Peru, and Colombia. After being captured, Lopez was imprisoned for 18 years, then transferred to a psychiatric hospital. Shockingly, in 1998, he was declared sane and set free, even though he vowed to kill again. Since then, his whereabouts remain unknown. Today, he would be 71 years old. Pedro Alonso Lopez is a stark reminder of the darkness that can lurk in human nature.
Pedro Alonso Lopez stood at the edge of the Andean village, his eyes scanning the dusty streets for his next victim. The Monster of the Andes, as the world would later know him, had a face that betrayed nothing. A quiet, unassuming man whose appearance disarmed even the most cautious. But behind that facade lay a predator unlike any other. He watched the children play, their laughter filling the air. To the villagers, he was just another drifter, a man passing through. But Lopez wasn't passing through, he was hunting. The routine was always the same. He'd gain their trust with gifts, kind words, and a gentle demeanor. To them, he seemed harmless, almost fatherly, but his intentions were anything but. The innocence he preyed upon was what fueled him, a sick compulsion that had consumed him for years. One by one, the children disappeared, their absence initially dismissed as the chaos of rural life. But by the time the truth emerged, it was too late. Lopez had claimed hundreds. Their small bodies were buried across Colombia, Ecuador, and Peru, hidden in unmarked graves, their voices silenced forever. Captured in 1980, Lopez confessed to the murders of over 300 girls, his words chillingly casual as he described his crimes. "I like young girls," he said. "They are like soft dolls." He showed no remorse, only satisfaction in the terror he caused. Despite his atrocities, the justice system failed to hold him. Released in 1994, his whereabouts remain unknown. His legacy is one of horror, a grim reminder of the evil that can hide behind a smile. Pedro Alonso Lopez's story raises a haunting question. How does humanity produce a man capable of such unimaginable cruelty?